I'm trying to make a point, and this is just horse shit after horse shit. What's going on, friends? King of Chaos, Logan Black here, and you're watching another episode of Pro Wrestling Explained to my wife. Hi, wife.
Hi, husband.
This week, we're hopping in the time machine. We're going back to my youth, but we're not going back to watch WWF or WCW or even ECW, no. We're going to check out some zaniness from independent wrestling in the late 90s. Now, you've been to independent wrestling shows since we started dating.
Yes.
What are you expecting from indie wrestling in the late 90s? You and I are like 11, 12 years old-ish. What do we got? What do you think we're going to see?
Nothing good.
You're right. Let's go right to it. The reason I'm putting this on is because when I was a wrestling fan growing up, I mean, like the indie shows you've been to have all been with me.
Mm-hmm.
This was the indie shows that I had no choice but to go to as a child.
Okay.
I feel like this is a really good snapshot of indie wrestling in the Northeast at the time of me being a youngin'. I'm pretty sure this was like 98 or 99 when this was filmed. But like, nothing had changed from like when I was a kid up until about that point. I was still a kid at that point.
Yeah,
I was that old.
I was about to say.
But still. But like at that point, I was going to ECW shows, which were certainly heads and tails above this nonsense. What is the first thing that you notice here?
This man is very shiny.
He is a very shiny man. That is Iron Mike Sharpe.
Okay.
A very, very famous WWF jobber from the 80s. Mm-hmm. Like, he was so famous that all of my uncles used to sit there. He used to do this thing where he'd be begging, no. My uncles would do that all the time because it was hilarious. He was one of those jobbers who, like, all right, it's Iron Mike Sharpe. You're going to be entertained. It's not like some local scrub.
Yeah.
So, again, the reason I say this is a good snapshot of what the indies were is because now you have all these guys who are looking to make their way... Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to make a point, and this is just horse shit after horse shit. Oh, catch your hat.
Oh, yep.
Anyway, my point being is that you didn't have guys at this point who were, like, on the independents and, like, trying to work their way. I mean, there wasn't, all that. It was literally, for the most part, especially in, like, the New Jersey area, you'd get a match like this one, which is Iron Mike Sharpe, and his opponent will come out in a moment.
You mean it's not Steve Irwin in a mask?
It is not masked Steve Irwin. Although that gimmick is by the name of Kimchi. Right. It's nothing Korean, nothing anything. Kimchi was the handler of the Ugandan giant Kamala. Although, again, Kamala is not involved in this match. This kind of nonsense and old wrestlers who are, like, way past their time.
I mean, doesn't seem that different.
Well, I mean, no, but here's the thing. Now you go to certain shows and they're like, all right, we're going to bring in, this wrestler who's, 20 years past his prime. And it's like one or two.
Yeah.
The whole card is not this.
It's true.
Which is pretty much what this was. I think there was one match on this show, which was Ace Darling versus Devin Storm, who were like legit the indie guys at the time, who would have like a legitimate wrestling match. But like, that was it. Those are the only two guys in the card who were leaving their feet.
Yeah. I'm also marveling at how Mike Sharpe seems to have blurred out his nipples already for Instagram.
Are they ever going to introduce this other guy? Because, like, man, I'm trying to keep these videos short. And I guarantee, I will put money on it that this whole intro part is going to be longer than the match itself.
I mean, certainly my attention is going that much longer.
And here you go. Again, if you were putting on an indie show from, like, 1996 through 2001, odds are King Kong Bundy was going to be on it if you were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That was just the way it was going to be. That was going to happen. Indie shows are not what they are right now. Even though I'm sure you've seen King Kong Bundy on an indie show or two.
It seems like.
Up, more mic time.
Of course. Why would anyone actually want to see wrestling on a wrestling show?
Up.
Oh.
We got one wrestling move. If you can call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to learn a shoulder tackle, so that makes sense, even though it's not technically a hold.
Oh.
He's going to beg off. Ref, keep him away. Is it bad? Is it ridiculous, the fact that I could probably call this match to you right now? He's going to try one more time, except he's going to cheat. That's my thing. He's going to do something to cheat. Oh, no, he's going to continue slipping on the banana peel here.
Of course.
He's getting real frustrated. I think he just kicked the ropes, but the camera's terrible and would rather get what's-his-face's long back.
It is very long, and he is very wide.
Well, long back, I mean he's got no ass.
Oh, that too.
Up. Shiny Mike Sharpe up. And we've got the body slam here. That's 2 wrestling moves.
One more and it's almost a whole match.
Well, they're going to make it a whole match. He's going to sell away. I don't know. I don't know what kind of time they have. Maybe they were, only doing like 6 minutes. But maybe Mike Sharpe will roll in and then roll back out, take his time, tell the crowd to shut up. One of those spots. Again, as rough as this is, I'm sure you've seen this on one of the, he's going to take it out on, it looks like Ken Patera, but who knows? A name, obviously, you have no idea who the hell I'm talking about.
I was going to say, why are they filming the commentary guys? And just goes to show it's because there's literally nothing happening in the ring.
But I want, he's going to, we're going to handshake, or we're going to be okay. Yep, I called it. He's going to cheat.
Of course he
I'm
is.
telling you, the cheat's coming. The crowd can see it. They're saying, we've seen this spot before. The past 3 matches before this did the same thing.
They're saying, finish it already. I'm bored.
Take it home! Oh, man. There's a part of me that genuinely does love this kind of shit. Because, it's what I was raised. I used to go to these shows and, get excited for this shit because you kind of get lost in it. But at this point, it's oh, man, it has passed us by so much.
Well, also, this is one where...
He caught it. He tried. Ah, the eye rake.
Or also, the fact that it's muted takes away literally everything that might have been entertaining about it, because clearly so much of it is them talking shit at each other.
But they're not even talking shit. That's the thing. They're literally just oh, you could, you could literally do that with grunts. But I also, I think there's brilliance to that. The fact that they could tell this match without any actual words. They could just do it with, grunts or noises, and the body language, the crowd will pick up on. And there are places, I've wrestled places, where this match fucking works.
Right, I'm saying, but you actually have the noise. The fact that it's muted right now, for us, makes it exponentially more boring.
I think it's just boring.
I mean, that too. That's why I said more boring.
I don't know.
But I could see, especially if the crowd was potentially getting into it, being okay, this is entertaining enough if I was there in person. But watching it on video and watching it muted is just, there's zero energy in it.
But there's zero energy in it, not including the crowd. There's just zero energy from these two.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, there is zero energy at all in this match. I've been waiting for it to be done since about halfway through the entrances. I'm so fucking bored right now.
But again, I gotta put it out to you. Legitimately, this is an indie show from the time.
I know. Sweet, remember when you showed me...
He took a bump.
Remember when you showed me that match and I was this is just big men running into each other?
Sure, but...
And you tried to explain that that's how it used to be, and I said, I respect that. But that doesn't mean I have to find it entertaining.
No, and I'm not... Listen, at this point, I don't necessarily find this entertaining either. But, But the point I'm making is that you paid to see 6 of these matches.
This is why I always work merch, so I don't have to pay.
Oh, there's the big avalanche splash in the corner. Is he going to give him the... Oh, he's going to roll out. Oh, they're going to go a double DQ because nobody wanted to do the JOB. I'm sure. That ref is... You can see the ref is counting quickly. He's going.
The ref
He's
is
going.
Like, get me the fuck out of here. I've been reffing.
Yep, told you. Neither of these guys was doing the job that night. It was not going to fucking happen. So you said you were expecting nothing good. Do you feel like your psychic abilities were on point today?
I'm pretty pleased with myself.
I really got to drive home, both to you, but especially to anyone out there who, wasn't a wrestling fan until somewhat recently or didn't really get to see what the independents were like, prior to the independent wrestling boom. Man, you had that match for like 6-7 matches on a card. And I'm not exaggerating. Maybe you'd be lucky. Like, I know, like, South Jersey, Philly area. Philly had, your JT Smiths in the 90s who would, like, just go out there and do every move in the book. And some bookers who were like, no, let's get, like, a Cactus Jack and Sabu on the show. And they'd go, like, 10 minutes and just brawl all over the building. And, like, it helped to build, the reputations of a lot of independents, especially in the Northeast, for, like, we're going to give some wild stuff. But for the most part, if you were going to just a basic independent wrestling promotion without any real hype or anything behind it, you were getting King Kong Bundy and Iron Mike Sharpe over and over. The next match on this card was, and I specifically didn't want to watch it, but Jimmy Snuka versus the Metal Maniac.
Oh no.
And again, if you guys want to watch it, this is up on YouTube. Go watch it. It's the same match. Does it seem like, even with all of this awfulness, that you'd be like, you know what, out of morbid curiosity, I'd like to check out more of this? No?
No, absolutely not. There was no even, like, like the ding-dongs. That shit's so bad it's funny. It's just, like, silly, and you're like, how did anyone come up with this? This one... So bored, dear. I was so bored.
I'll give all the credit in the world. Bundy's a legend. Iron Mike Sharpe is a legend. But, oof. This one was no bueno. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Explained to my wife. You can check me out on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at King of Chaos NYC. And you're checking this out on the Year One Wrestling Podcast YouTube account. You should be subscribed to the podcast itself. Literally, anywhere that you can get a podcast. You can find this, hit subscribe, be notified, anything you got going on, and you can check it out on social media at year1pod. And for you, dear?
You can find me on Instagram at Banana Lunch or Twitter at BenchBro Esquire.
Oh, for the missus and myself, love each other, love yourselves, love pro wrestling.